welcome back to another edition of Pop Stories by Fred Dietz. This is the last story in Uncle Ronnie's stories, The Zombie Chronicles. It's called Bits and Pieces. Uncle Ronnie drifted back to his spot at the campfire. He was carrying a big cup. Many wondered what was in the cup. Uncle Ronnie was not sharing it. It was well after midnight. He took a long look at his watch. Right about now, he said, real low, he would be having a drink of Fortune or Foskey. He took a drink from his cup and smiled. As I headed to do my show, I noticed a few people were trying to see my route. I hope whomever it was enjoyed the trip. I heard about how they were trying every grave. Uncle Ronnie stopped to chuckle for a moment. While they were disturbing the dead, I went to another graveyard. As I told you folks before, every graveyard has a secret entrance, if you know where to look. He emphasized the last part. Oh, and I should mention, every graveyard has a security camera set up. You folks who followed would be glad to know you made it onto TV. You were part of a show called Those Funny Humans. Due to the change in travel, I had to take the commuter train. As I did, I autographed all kinds of things, and it really did not take long to get there, as the train was powered by Zombium. As I walked from the train station, a large crowd followed me. All of a sudden, I heard a helicopter above me. Soon a ladder had been lowered. As I was flying above the crowd, I couldn't help myself. I struck a flying pose. The crowd loved it. After that, I led the crowd in a couple of songs. The helicopter kept circling until, bam, the change of life happened. At that moment, I was lowered onto the steps of ZTV. Mr. Behrens was there. My director was there. Most of the staff was hanging out the windows. It was great. Uncle Ronnie paused to hold up his hands as if he's acknowledging the crowd. Once inside, Mr. Behrens told me how the show would be different today. I gave him a quizzical look. At that point, Uncle Ronnie gave the same look to those gathered next to him. By the way, just as Uncle Ronnie's seat was always available, so were the seats for his favorite nieces and nephews. And if you ever asked him if he had favorites, he would shake his head no. But everyone knew he did. Here is your special guest, said Mr. Behrens as he pointed to a figure walking into the room. Uncle Ronnie, I would like you to meet the president of the Zombie Nation, President Leonard Dorstrom. The next thing I knew, I'm shaking hands with the president of the Zombie Nation. Uncle Ronnie shook hands with those seated right next to him. Just like that. We walked down the hallway to an interview room. After getting set up, the interview started. We talked about a lot of different things. It was too set, too predictable. I looked at him. Come on, I said. Come on what? Said President Dorstrom. Let's go somewhere. Let's go somewhere else, President Dorstrom, I answered. This is not an Uncle Ronnie type of interview. He smiled. What do you have in mind? Come on, I replied, gesturing to the director and the crew to follow us. We walked down the hallway, hung a louie, took the elevators, and found ourselves outside. Once outside, I yelled, "Which way to take a shot?" The whole crowd cheered. All of a sudden, the roar of motorcycles filled the air. There was a group of motorcyclists coming down the street. Once they stopped, I could read the name on the back of their coats. It read, Wild Bones Rising. The leader stopped his bike. He stepped off and walked up the steps. Uncle Ronnie, Mr. President, it'd be our honor to escort you there. There we were, the president, a zombie biker gang, and me leading a crowd to a bar. It was fantastic. Uncle Ronnie's face was lit up with a huge smile. He started back up. When we arrived at Take a Shot, there were tables set up outside of the bar. Waitresses had trays of drinks ready for everyone. In the center of it all, there was a table for President Dorstrom, President Behrens, and me. Okay, so tell me about Halloween down here, I asked both of them. They looked at each other. Both started laughing. Mr. Behrens responded, there are a lot of parties we have crashed in the human world. I can't tell you the number of times someone will tell me, great costume, or you wore that last year. He started to brag. I can't tell you the number of costume contests I have won. I mean, I'm certain more than a few Hollywood movies have cast their characters based on us. President Dorstrom cut in. You should see the parties down here for those days. He held up his drink. The crowd erupted in applause. The interview went on and on. Finally, President Dorstrom finished his drink. Uncle Ronnie, before this ends, we have an offer to make you. I know the Bigfoot and Sasquatch Union has made you an offer to live there. We would like to make you a similar offer. We have a house all picked out for you and Aunt Priscilla. We want you to go back, talk it over with her, and see where we go from there. Deal?" "Wait a minute," said a voice from the edge of the campfire. "Both places want you to live there." "Yep," replied Uncle Ronnie. "So which one did you pick?" asked everyone. "That's a story for another night," responded Uncle Ronnie as he walked away from the campfire.